Hi everyone, my name is Buyisiwe Dlamini and I am the founder of Buhle Bendalo Designs. So I had quite an interesting conversation during the week with Anele Msweli. Anele Msweli is a woman, young black woman from Durban. She manufactures eco-friendly products for cleaning the home, but she's also ventured out into things like hair oils. So that's what the conversation was focusing on, all her home products and home cleaning products. So we discuss everything here from tips on keeping your home really clean, compartmentalizing your space, how to take stains out of things like rags and couches, which a number of people ask me about. And I thought the best thing for me to do is to actually get this information from somebody who is in this field. So we also speak about how changing over from what you find in stores, which usually does a lot of damage not only to our skin, to our surfaces, but also to the environment, changing over from that and then moving into something a bit more eco-friendly, and the narrative around expense of eco-friendly goods. So it's such an information packed session. So if you have an interest in hearing about that, please stay tuned. What are some of the things that you need to know about Anele? So Anele is she holds a BSc in Earth Sciences. She also puts in a lot of research into her products. I know specifically for the Zesty Kitchen Cleaner that even though she released it, it's been consistently developed and perfected over a period of 2 years. Her skin products, she looks at about 6 months. But really the conversation is around the home, keeping the home clean, and what type of products we can use from her line and other eco-friendly lines to achieve cleanliness without damaging the environment. So I hope you stay and I hope you enjoy that conversation. Please leave any questions or comments below. And if you have any suggestions for any other conversations that you'd like to hear about, we are all ears. So yeah, let's get to it. Hi, welcome Anele Msweli from Mare and Itis, which is a South African eco-friendly, what would you say, eco-friendly household brand?
Correct. It's an eco-friendly. Recently, it's been eco-luxe. So.
Ooh.
Oh yes.
I approached you a few weeks back to just look at eco-friendly ways to treat our residential spaces. Being in COVID, having to be at home, being in lockdown due to COVID, that's what I meant to say. I feel as if a lot of us are evidently reconsidering our spaces, but something that's really important to me is general cleanliness and neatness within our spaces. And the world is changing so much. I think we're more aware of our environments, and I think that we need to also consider how to have healthier environments. So that's one thing that I wanted to discuss with you today. To start with, what is Mare and Itis? Where does it come from? What do you do? Who's Anele? All of those beginner questions.
Those beginner questions always make you like your palms sweat. Anele, obviously from Durban, as I always write that everywhere. I think my signature and everything Durban-based brand. But it started in China because I couldn't read the labels and things were getting really toxic. Either my skin, my hair. So it just got to a point where you ask the foreigners in the groups and stuff for what's going on, and they just no one had an answer. So, but the answer was the air and the water pollution. So you'd rather I'll make my own. So that's where Mare and Itis started. It wasn't started because a lot of things are born out of necessity. So it wasn't like I was in South Africa and I was like, oh, let me do this, because we grew up on a lot of these household brands from Unilever and whatnot, that your bleaches and stuff that you use at home. And then you leave the country, and then you're kind of put in another environment, and you fall apart.
Yeah.
And so that's where Mare and Itis started. Mare and Itis, the name, and a lot of people pronounce it incorrectly, it was a blog name. And when I was at university, I called my blog Mare and Itis Student Life or something, where because I was a science student, we had a lot of field trips. So I'd kind of write about my field trips and all of that. But then when I, kind of nostalgia kicked in, and I was in China, I was like, ooh, what should I call this business? When I finally decided to sell the things that I was making in my kitchen, because a couple of friends asked, oh, can you make it for me? If I've made a dishwashing liquid or something, can you make it for me too? My hands are dry. And I'd made a hair oil. Please, can you make it for me? Because my hair is falling out, And then they're like, well, everyone's asking you for it, so why don't you sell it?
Mm-hmm.
And with obviously the nostalgia from university, I thought, well, why not call it Mare and Itis Shop? And it's the shop with the old English, because I like old English. With COVID, I had to return, and I thought, well, why not carry on here? Even though I had started last year in October, where my partner was helping me with shipping out the things. So I would get him to make the stuff, and he was actually doing the things from Durban, and I was doing the China branch. The China branch, because I was actually about to register. I was going to open up a shop in China and in South Africa, but with COVID, didn't return to kind of finish up the process. So that's Mare and Itis shop.
That's pretty interesting. What were you doing in China?
I was teaching.
Okay.
So I was a teacher and a trainer, and things got too much.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I was a teacher actually. Where I first started teaching was in Harbin. And Harbin is basically super close to the Arctic Circle and almost borderline Russia. And I spent a year, I had about 8 months of winter, so my hair just fell out. Okay. And all I needed to do was just seal my hair with a lot of oil and that sort of thing, because I remember waiting for the bus, and I looked at my phone. My phone had a little special pouch which kept it warm. But looking at my phone was minus 40 degrees, and the real feel was minus 44. And I was thinking, what am I doing here? So now you know why I had to make my own skincare and my own hair products, because I just needed to get natural oils sealed in, or else nothing was going to stick. I promise you, Nivea doesn't work at minus 30.
So what type of products do you have in your line? And how long have they taken you to put together?
Goodness. The cleaner, which is quite the popular one, which I call the Zesty Kitchen Cleaner, but really it goes everywhere. That, I think it took me about 3 years to put together, because, you kind of change from lemon to this and that and that. Now I've formulated it, and it's perfect, and it works quite well. Because the original one didn't have a surfactant, which is what makes it soapy, called decyl glucoside, because I didn't know a plant-based surfactant, because a lot of people use the synthetic ones, which are not really, they're cheap and nasty. It took me a while to find decyl glucoside, but then I also found a company that exports to South Africa.
Yeah.
At the time, it was in China, and I found the same company that brings in the stuff into South Africa. I said, well, they should be good, and they supplied me in China. So decyl glucoside, and then I was like, the original one didn't have that, but now this one's so much better. It's lovely. It's my favorite.
Let me tell you, my mom literally walks around with the kitchen cleaner for all surfaces, like wherever she goes.
And the hand sanitizer, because
I actually have it here. And let me tell you, I have about 7 different hand sanitizers, and this is the only one that I use where I don't have to moisturize my hands after. So I don't know what's in it. I don't know which of the oils that you put in it moisturize my hands, but it's the only one where I don't need to moisturize.
And it's a lot of them, well, the recent ones are 80% of the volume are alcohol, because before they were only 75%. I've just added that because I've gone paranoid as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, reading articles recently about a lot of these big companies that are, you know, skimping on the alcohol content, which then, you know, that's not really helping. You're buying useless hand sanitizer. And I must say, I did walk around like, that's what you get from supporting corporates, you know, not honest shops. So I was a bit snug with that, you know.
Yeah.
But it has to be my favorite. I spray. I've got a bigger one that I keep in my car without the vitamin E. So which is what keeps your hands quite moist and yeah, moisturized. I just spray it in my car. I think I get in my car and then I just spray everything. Yeah, so I've got that. But the products that I really, really like are the Zesty Kitchen Cleaner, the linen spray, the hand sanitizer, and the new face oils. Absolutely in love. Don't use any other product.
Is the linen spray the rosy linen spray?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. All right. Because I like before
we'll talk about why it's a linen spray and not a room spray.
Okay. Because what I do is, and I don't even know if this is the right way to use it, but I literally take that and on my pillow before I sleep, because I just like to have a nice scent around me. So whether it's a room scent or something else, I literally just sort of do a little mist around my pillows, and then I wait about 30 minutes. So by the time I get into bed, it's sunk into the pillows and it smells so good. It's enveloping. It really is, and it smells so fresh.
So that has geranium oil and lavender. So both are very calming oils. So that's why they're quite, it's a good linen spray, because you spray it in your bed, you spray it in your bedroom or anywhere else. It's quite a calming scent. But then it actually also has apple cider vinegar. And that's why I said linen spray, because apple cider vinegar is basically the oracle. It's a household. Because it actually does basically just cleans up all the bacteria in your bed and whatever that's in your bed. So even before you get in, at least you know that you have a little spritz and you know you're getting into a cozy bed with no bed bugs or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of people don't change their bedding as well. Because I was listening to Cliff Central and they were just talking about, you know, how people don't change their bedding for 2 months. I'm like, what world do we live in? You know, this is why we're talking about cleanliness.
Or is this like their whole lives?
Because they had this poll and people were like, no, they don't. Maybe once a month or every 2 months. This is all the problems we have. And that's why we're talking about cleanliness.
We have real big problems if people
don't realize that Yes, so that's the major issue. So I mean, it starts there. So it's good to have a linen spray just as a refresher, and you know you're getting into a nice, cozy, clean bed that's going to be a calming sort of space for you. So yeah, it's really nice. Like it.
So what I'd like to do is, you know, as an interior designer, usually on my couches, I always recommend on couches, cushions, rugs. I'm trying to think what else. So any type of like chair fabric that isn't a leather, I always recommend that, you know, my clients get like a fabric protect or something like that on, just to protect from any stains from like wine spills or Coca-Cola spins. And the nice thing about fabric protect is that although you obviously are going to spill, the stain just doesn't sink as deep, you know, it adds a layer. But I think what people don't realize is that you consistently need to work on these things. So you consistently need to get fabric protect. It's not going to be a once off and then you'll never get it again. It's something that you need to do. The same with rugs. Your rugs need to be professionally cleaned. So what I'd actually like to do is to go through with you, sort of as you enter through a house, what are some of the tips and tricks on cleanliness and neatness and just being able to preserve the materials that we're using on our couches, on our rugs and things like that, that you would recommend for people to start instilling? in their own routines at home?
Every day, I promise you, the 15-minute guy is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't take that long to tidy up your space. And once you get into that mindset, you know, just walking in, because a lot of people work, I think 8 to 5. I'm not sure what the hours are. I was working 7 to 6 before, so I'm not sure.
8 to 5, 9 to 6, you know, is around a good time.
Yes. So if you know that you're coming back home, you're going to be in the kitchen, clean the kitchen straight afterwards. You don't wait until after this program. And also when you just little things, but 15-minute guy before you go to bed, before you do anything, clean up your space. And you use your regular cleaner. You don't need to whip out all the household cleaners. Now you're going to start mopping. You're going to do, no, because every day you're going to, that's for the weekend. You know, the major cleaners for the weekend, but 15 minutes a day. When you walk in, try not to eat in your bedroom. Just don't. It's not a place where you eat. You don't want crumbs in there. You don't want, because then it's going to be a habit. It's one of those, when you keep the bedroom, and once you get that into your mind, you know that space will not have crumbs, will not have spills, because you have nice linen. You don't want like food on your nice linen.
Stains on your Egyptian cotton, right?
You know what I mean? Exactly. So just make it a point that you don't take food into the bedroom, and when you do eat, try to eat at the table. It's one of those things. So sometimes we do have the telly on when we are eating, but it's not like, oh, now we have to like eat in front of the TV. It's just, if you do have a, you know, dinner table, rather just make it a habit, because then you don't have to tidy up 4 different rooms. You just have to tidy up the kitchen and, you know, the dining area where you've just eaten. And then you have a quick wipe down, and you make that a habit. And I promise you just, it's not a major clean, because you know most of the time after work you're just using 2 rooms, and then the lounge, you're going to watch TV or do whatever you're going to do, and then you go into your bedroom to sleep. So that is, you know, my big thing, where you just compartmentalize all these things, and then you just have 1 or 2 rooms that are messy that you're just going to do 15 minutes and do everything. So that's what, when I was working those hours, that was my routine. And when I was, you know, living alone in China, that was my routine, because I lived in a 2-bedroom, a huge flat. I don't even know why I did that. I should have just lived in a studio. So that for me was the way that I was going to not make a mess in my bedroom. I was not going to make a mess where I don't need to make a mess. I hope that answers your question as to like, just those are the tips that I would go for. And then
what about preserving your materials? So something like preserving your couches, preserving your rugs. What's some advice that you can give around that?
Okay, so I'm hoping that people don't have wool. I know I like wool rugs, but I don't think I'd ever buy wool rugs. It's not happening.
I love it. But I always say, listen, if you want wool, firstly, it's an affordability thing, right? Because it's really expensive. So if you want and can have wool, you also have to be prepared to upkeep that wool, because it is a mission.
Yes.
It is a mission.
Yeah. At the moment, we've got, like right here, it's not high traffic, but I've got a cotton rug, which I'm not really fond of, but it's cotton, because it's so hard to find rugs that don't have, you would know as the interior designer, with the polys, the plastics, you know, in between.
Everything is a mix now.
Everything's mixed with the synthetics, right? And you know, we've got that one there. But it's easier to preserve, and that's what I'm getting at. Cotton's more difficult because it's a natural fabric. You know, it's a mission. Every week we've got to like take it out on the balcony and kind of let it air and whatever. You can't just wipe it down. But we've got a high traffic synthetic rug in the lounge, and that's easier to kind of maintain because it's synthetic. It's it's weird. It's almost like plastic, but it's not.
Mm.
But you can just easily wipe it down. So if every week, unfortunately, you're gonna have to air your rugs. Absolutely. I don't know, because there's dust. If you don't have a vacuum cleaner, I don't know what you're playing at if you've got rugs. But that is the best thing. Just either sweep properly, and then just let it air outside. It's so dusty. I didn't realize how dusty it is in Durban, or it's probably because we're quite close to the sea. But I don't know, you walk in, you would have mopped in 15 minutes, and then you start seeing speckles of dust.
Yeah.
So to say, your rugs and your couches, you can make a little white vinegar mix. If you've got a stain or anything like that. Look at me, I'm like whispering because it's like a secret.
No one will know. Okay, it's just us.
Yes. So the best thing to do is get rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol, I think, is not legal. Rubbing alcohol from Dis-Chem or Clicks or a pharmacy, and mix that maybe half portion with white vinegar. Shake that up, and then it removes all stains. If you've got mud, which is a bit more difficult to clean, you have to wait for it to get dry. Like all of those, if you wipe it down, if it's going to spread, wait till it's dry, and then you use the solution with just vinegar. Vinegar is going to draw out all the dirt, which is amazing.
And I think what I'd like to add to that is people should be really careful not to like scrub and wipe down really harshly, but sort of have the same motion that you would have for when you're using a toner and a cotton wool on your face, is a slight dab. And if you are going to do that scratching motion, is to just really do it lightly, because the harsher you are, the deeper that stain, is going. Another thing that I was actually thinking of earlier when you were speaking about the Zesty kitchen cleaner is that it's really important to have good cloths.
Yes.
So key.
And cloths.
Yeah. Right? Not just one for the house, like different ones.
You have it written down here because you'd asked me a question about keeping your simple ways of keeping your home clean and all of that, and I've got that in there. Just try. One of the biggest things I've seen in kitchens, people don't change their cloths, and people don't soak them. You can soak them in lemongrass oil, and it takes away all the bacteria if you don't want to use bleach.
The lemongrass also draws out oil, right?
Yeah, because bleach it draws out the bacteria and the germs. It's really good. So if you had to mix in vinegar and lemongrass in the hot water, just soak your cloths in there, and then you just rinse them and hang them up. It's the best thing, because just before you asked me to have a chat to you about this, I did a bit of research about just cleaning products in South Africa. Sorry, I'm digressing. I'm going all the way back. Where the UK has over 1,000 chemicals and sort of ingredients that we use in personal care, and as well as just household cleaners. They're all banned. Ammonia is even banned, and the US has 11 of those out of over 1,000 banned. Cannot find the stuff for South Africa. Cannot find any. The only thing you can find about banned chemicals in South Africa is for agriculture. So anything goes.
In South Africa, when we clean.
And you're cleaning with all the ammonia.
With strip chemicals, like you're stripping your skin. The same way you strip floors, you're stripping your skin.
Because that's actually another reason why I made Zesty in China, was I found out that they still use formaldehyde in some of their products. and as you know, that is a chemical, and it's banned in the UK. It's still allowed. People still buy it in South Africa. It's not banned. Sometimes you might still find paint with formaldehyde, and that is a carcinogenic. You know, it's you don't want a cancer-causing sort of chemical in your house, and you're still finding people are using those. You know, and I was also trying to see what's in sunlight washing, the soap thing, washing liquid,
dishwashing liquid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The sunlight dishwashing liquid. It says ingredients. It mentions one, like sulfur dioxide, amongst other things. That's the ingredients list. And you're like, what are the other things?
You choose. Your choice.
And that's the South African market, unfortunately, with cleaning, because we all go with price.
Yeah.
We all go with, and so that's why cleaning your rugs and your chairs or anything, use a household sort, like vinegar. Just use vinegar. It's cheap. It does, I promise you, it does the work. It gets all the grime and all the dirt out without even rigorous scrubbing. You just need to let it sit, and then you gently wipe it, and it'll be fine. So once we educate people about which sort of products to use and how to use them, you'll see there's going to be a change in how people clean their homes. You don't have to use Jik, or you don't have to use whatever we've been using for decades. We can just go with a simple thing like a cheap white wine vinegar that is readily available, that has been used since, the Romans, that was used to clean wounds for soldiers. I mean, for years, this has been used, but it's always been overlooked because now we've got cheaper chemicals.
Yeah.
So kind of go back to basics. It's really cheap, and it's affordable, and it's not something that, oh my God, it's only for tree huggers, it's actually something. You're breathing this in, you're putting it on your skin. It's not ideal. And that's why we have so many issues. There's so many respiratory issues around. And that's because of your toxic home.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I was, reading some articles, and most of these respiratory issues are from indoor, like what you're breathing in. So your floor cleaner, your everything, because you spend a lot of time at home. So it kind of makes sense that they've just, how many people do you know with asthma? How many people do you know with all of these things? And somehow there's been a surge in people with these issues. And that's because of what you're taking in, either outside because of the pollution, or inside. So you're not really safe anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm actually interested to see if in a few years you won't have something like paint, that's eco-friendly. I do know, some of the paints that are my preference are more eco-friendly than what we used to have. But I mean, it's very difficult to find a completely eco-friendly paint. And we spend so much time in painted rooms, but we take so much of that for granted. Even the fabrics that we use on our couches, the bedding that we sleep in. And the argument always comes down to price. And I think what a lot of people want to or need to know is eco-friendly less expensive? Is it, what is the quality to price ratio? Is it a competitor in terms, you've mentioned sunlight, you've mentioned Jik. Are we comparing apples with apples here, or
like when you're moving into an eco-friendly home, it's all about the quality, and also just how there's a supply and demand issue. Because the ethyl glucosides are not popular, they're going to be expensive. And other things are, other chemicals that have been used for decades, they're going to be cheaper because they've built all of this, and now it's just cheaper to manufacture. But because the research and everything is it's so new. And because a lot of people do want to go back to the science behind it. So now it all must be proven again, even though these are the methods that our ancestors used. Yeah. But now it has to go through all of the research and So it is expensive for now. But if you look at the benefits of your health in your house, you're not using anything that is cancer causing. So that is something beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that you're supporting any company or business or anything that is promoting a healthier environment. So I think it's all about the movement. Once you get more people involved in getting into this and understanding that it's not just about a pretty bottle, it's actually something beneficial to you and your family, and eventually it might be just as affordable as your toxic stuff, because more people are going to want to buy it. But Woolworths has an eco-friendly range. I don't know if you've seen it, and I must say I do. And they've got these the dishwashing liquid, it just everything's made in China.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. They've got this, yes, South African, but everything's made in China because they're saying, well, it's cheaper to make in China, but you're not thinking of all the costs. It's just, once we kind of put in the research in this country and get people mobilized and getting them to understand what eco-friendly means, then I think it would be affordable and people would want to actually support the industry.
But like I'm telling you, with the Zesty kitchen cleaner, like, there is consistent movement around that thing. Like, where can I use it? If you have builders working at the house, you are spraying handles. If somebody from outside needs to come in to do something, you're spraying handles. If you've gone out and you're coming back, you're spraying handles that you've just touched. So it's small things like that. So perhaps you're still using something like a jig in the household, but you've got a kitchen cleaner that is eco-friendly. Soon, when there's a way to replace that, then it's a natural progression. You're not inundated with, oh my gosh, this expense, I can't do this.
Sure. That's absolutely the way to do it, because I think we still use the Omo laundry detergent, because the eco-friendly ones are really expensive. Also, that one really works really well. So it's one of those things where you're trying to have this eco-friendly home, but then sometimes they don't work as well as the other things you've been using. It just takes a gradual shift of your mindset, and it also just takes a gradual shift in your pocket where you want to spend money and where you can't spend money. So I think it's the most difficult thing to just go cold turkey and decide, this is it. I mean, I have a non-toxic home. It's also quite extreme. It's almost like being vegan and not being flexible when going to someone else's house.
Right.
You know, it's quite a thing to just, okay, we're doing non-toxic everything, because that means I'm going to be getting bamboo dishcloths. I'm going to, we're just, it's a small at a time, and eventually we'll get there. But yeah, just kind of trying to make sure that we're not supporting the toxic ways too much, and just raising awareness and how to use the simple things.
Yeah.
Like oils.
And I think something else that we need to be very aware of is majority of the things that are on the market, although are good cleaners, actually erode your materials faster. Like I was telling you about our leather chairs at home that have now been eroded by some type of cleaning chemical that was used on it. And I think what you're saying, just a simple thing like white wine vinegar, mixing it with a lemon grass, or what did you say about the rugs?
Yeah, if you mix it in with lemon or lemongrass, I think lemon is cheaper, it's affordable. Lemon oil, not lemon juice, lemon oil with apple cider vinegar or white wine vinegar. It's best if you've got lighter fabrics, definitely use white wine vinegar. Do not use any other vinegar because it will color it, obviously, with brown or whatever.
Yeah.
Use white wine and mix it in with alcohol. Shake that and
So I think, with that, you're actually saving your materials. And in terms of facilities management, really we should not be stripping our floors or stripping our rugs or stripping our couches. Instead, we should be trying to preserve them, you know, and I think
Yes.
our mindset around that really, really needs to change.
Yeah, rubbing alcohol might smell really strong, but it is natural. Just letting you know, it's ethanol, it's all natural, sugarcane, it's all fine. You know, so and it's readily available, not expensive, and it's something that you can use on everything and anything. I mean, I've just developed a window and mirror cleaner, and it's mostly alcohol and vinegar, because both just clean all surfaces. They're sparkly clean. You can use it on your what do you call your taps. You can use it on all of that. So you make sure that you always, you know, have those clean surfaces. You don't have any, you know, in your basin, in your bathroom after brushing your teeth, you end up having those white spots everywhere.
Yeah.
If you use vinegar and alcohol on that, you'll be fine.
Okay. So can you give us a list of 2 or 3 things that are in development that we can look forward to this year, and what your plan is for Mare and Itis?
Mare and Itis. So 2 or 3 things that are coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Mare and Itis, right? So as I said, we've got the window and mirror cleaner that's not up yet. That's going up because I've had a few people ask me, what can I use for this? What can I use for this? What? Because Zesty Kitchen Cleaner has that Zesty Kitchen Cleaner, people don't want to use it anywhere else. Even though I've been telling people it is fantastic. But it's actually an all-purpose cleaner, because I get the mold off our shower using that, because it's a mold buster as well. So that's why. So now that I don't need to make an all-purpose cleaner, because you can use Zesty basically everywhere on any surface except for marble. Don't use it on marble,
because it's going to,
as you said. Yes, and you know how porous it is. Oh no, you don't want that. Yeah. So we've got that, and what I kind of gave out as a hint, I've got the face oils that are, I don't know if you can see, and the that's out. So I've got for dry and sensitive skin for now, and what's coming up, I'm developing for other skin types, like people with acne. Because of the different types of oils that you formulate and put together, just so you can use it. But the face oil for sensitive skin has Kalahari melon seed oil, so it can be used by people with acne, and it's gonna be fine. It's quite a very, very mild oil. And what I posted as a preview, I've got beard oils coming out.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know. Yeah, so beard oils are, I'm seeing a lot of people with beards, and some of them are really crusty, and I think they might appreciate something like this.
Yeah.
And because I really enjoy yoga, and a lot of my products are actually things that I use. I don't go and think, oh, that one's done this, I want to do. It's actually things that, why have I never seen a yoga mat cleaner in South Africa?
Yeah, because
I did a poll, and a lot of people said, you don't clean it, you let it air.
Oh no.
You let your yoga mat air. We a lavender one, yoga mat cleaner, and it uses witch hazel. There's no alcohol, because I mean, if you want to wipe it down and quickly work out, you don't want to lie down there and smell the hectic alcohol. So it uses witch hazel. Witch hazel is antibacterial, but it's not antiviral. I mean, there are some viruses that it would kill, but it's quite, and it's a natural plant, witch hazel. So this is made with majority witch hazel, and then the essential oils that are for cleaning purposes and also aromatherapeutic reasons why I've used some of the oils. So those are what you can look forward to. It's been quite a journey kind of putting this together. A bathroom set, a hand wash, a hand lotion, and a room spray. Right? There was a hint at the start of the video. So those 3 will go together. They're going to be a 3-pack, but I'm still waiting for packaging and all sorts of things, and just trying to formulate the last bit. So you're going to get a citrus pack, and you're going to get a lavender pack, and so they're all beautiful scents.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got jasmine in one of them, which is quite luxurious, but they're just, so
the luxury fan.
I do like nice things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's next for Mare and Itis. There was a time where I don't know if you can see behind me, there's a diffuser. Yes, a diffuser. So I wanted to bring a whole lot of those in, because I was planning, I want to get my logo on it and everything, and bring those into South Africa, because one of the things you asked me was like, how can you make your space smell nice without the synthetics, without the weird things, bringing in the harsh stuff in your house. And the diffuser is the best, because you just three drops of whatever scent, natural, please, no fragrance oil. Yes. You have that, or you have a whole lot of plants in your house. I've got the rubber tree behind me. You have aloe, you've got speckboom, like all those plants that kind of draw out the toxins. And then the other thing, what I wanted to make, but it would be too expensive to make, and I've kind of decided that Mare and Itis is eco-luxe, but still affordable, because it's not going to be out of reach for people, because this is an educational thing as well for people that really want to go non-toxic, but they don't have to pay the crazy price that you normally see online. So the other thing that I really wanted to make, there's a candle behind me. I make soy wax candles, but I only make them for the house. So rather have soy wax than the paraffin wax in your house, and that makes your space smell amazing. Try to get, I think they're now, you're starting to see more of the soy wax candles around. So that's the best thing to use, because it's from a soybean. It's really fun to use. So I wanted to launch that maybe at the end of the year, but soy wax is really difficult to find in SA, and it's quite expensive. Yeah, so but hopefully in the future I could maybe use connections somewhere where I can find a good amount of soy wax, and then maybe I can carry on with making candles. But for now, I just make them for home. Yeah, because a lot of the times, and people do ask, oh, but why? This is so random, and it's always, I needed it, so that's why I have what I have. And a lot of linen sprays are made with alcohol and parfum, or fragrance that's not real. That's not soothing for me, and that's not what I wanted to put on my pillows. So you're right, it has been just born out of my own necessity. And I just thought, well, what if the next person wants this? What if the next person has sinus issues? Because that's the other thing, I'll be sneezing forever. But and that's why it's just been such an amazing journey, seeing what I like and seeing what I don't like. And then also just kind of like, I did not plan on making an alcohol hand sanitizer. Like I did not plan that, and that opportunity just came, and I was like, oh, I'll do it, because my hand sanitizers that I was making in China were made with witch hazel, because for me, antibacterial. I mean, if you've ever been to China, you know that the bathrooms never have soap and they never have tissue. So for me, I made my own hand sanitizer, and that was the witch hazel one, which was antibacterial. But coming here, COVID, had to innovate, and that's what you learn so much about. This time you learn so much about yourself and about how resilient you can be, and also just how innovative you can be. Like, I'll do this. Now I've got a sanitizing spray for my car. Like, maybe someone will need this spray, but obviously I'm not selling that. But how quickly you just think of other opportunities. And that's been, I think, COVID. You just, if you're an opportunist, you can survive. If not, that's what this has taught me. Yeah.
Of course.
As well. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've gone way over the 30 minutes that we had hoped to have this conversation for, but it's been really interesting. I've learned so much, and I think, I've always had a deep appreciation for just being kinder to a space and really considering what you put in a space. And I think your whole outlook in terms of your business really contributes to that. So I really implore people, especially those with little kids, those who also live with, somebody who's elderly, to consider these products, by force. And then for the rest of us to do our research and look into how we can incorporate them, and to start incorporating them, to not wait and say, no, I'll do it later, but to actually start with something like a kitchen cleaner and just see if natural products can do the same job. And from my experience, they can. So where can people find you?
So on Instagram, it's at Mare and Itis shop with PPE at the end. Or you can go into the online shop. It's www. Yes, I still say the www.
Yes.
.itis.shop. So it's mareanditis.shop.
But thank you so much. It's been so informative. And I think, I just love collaboration. So I really would love to see more of your products in my clients' homes and to find ways to incorporate your products just in terms of the delivery of the end of a project. And I just think it's such a lovely gift to give someone the opportunity to have a healthier space. And so I just, I love that.
It even goes down, everything that I've put together and as a brand, it's something, it's thought out. It's all thought out from packaging to the contents. It's not just the contents that's non-toxic, it's also the packaging. And it's all reusable because it's glass. And if you want to return your glass, you can just people email me, and I can get your glass bottles back if you don't want to reuse them. But the whole premise is that we're trying to also be environmentally aware. So, and that's what out from the packaging. The box as well is reusable. And I don't know if you saw, you had a lot of wood wool in your packaging, because you can put that back in your compost heap, or you can make a fragrance bag for your toys. It's stuff that, it really has been thought out, and that's what I want people to enjoy in their own homes.